to A Troubled Shared, a podcast where two comedians try to heal the world by solving one of your troubles at a time. My name is Johnny Cochrane, but I'm not here alone. I'm joined by a comedian who knows trouble like the back of her hand. It's Twayna Mayne. How you doing, Twayna?
Yo, Johnny, I am fine. A little bit under the weather, but I'm not going to die. So you've got me for about 45 minutes alive.
That's your prognosis, is it?
Yeah.
She's been on Google, definitely. Yeah, a very rare disease. Twayna, I like to peel behind the curtain on what's been going on. We just had technical issues. It's the second week on the bounce. My headphones won't tell you the model. In fact, I will tell you because it's degrading it. It's Sony. My Sony headphones are cut off the moment I hit record, and I can't even hear you. And I think, is Twayna playing some kind of hilarious prank, doing mime work? Oh, right, now she's trying to climb up a ladder. But no, now I can hear you, and we feel like we're ready to cook on gas in this episode. Are you feeling as positive and ready to help as I am?
Yes, 100%. Hit that.
I think that was the illness coming through there. Something, bless you. You're really going through it. But I kind of just summed up the trouble. Like to start at the top of the pod with one of the troubles we're facing. But technical issues is the trouble that I was facing. And you've had it before as well, since we've been starting this pod. It's two people who try their best to get on board with technology, but it doesn't always work for us. Have you had any other technological ills recently? Or
my washing machine's broken. It's gone. It's kaput. I need a new washing machine, but I also need a whole new kitchen. So that's what I'm working. That's my project for the next few months. Is project refit of a whole kitchen. It's basically what I'm doing. Proper grown up business. Because
what do you do first? Do you do the washing? I mean, you can't go, I know my clothes smell and I haven't got anything clean, stains down them, but I'm waiting for my new kitchen. Or you got to really just go straight away for that washing machine, haven't you?
I'm actually have access to a washing machine, not in my property, but somewhere else, quite close by, and I'll be using that for the foreseeable. So I'm not getting a new washing machine straight away.
Does the person who owns the washing machine know that you use that washing machine?
They will know. It's all I've all sorted out. I've got a lot of I'm now going to go into I've got loads of underwear. I'm fine. But the other day I dropped something down my top and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have a washing machine. You can't just be dropping food down yourself willy-nilly now. Now that you don't have access to a washing machine in the way that you used to, I've just got to be like, yeah, you can't be sloppy, which is a really weird thing to say. Not saying that I was dropping food all over the place, but now it's like, I can't, I've got to drag this somewhere else. I can't just wash it in that room. I've got to plan this. So I'm now just being less tardy.
Yeah, you're playing for higher stakes. It's that simple. You're now like Danny Glover in Lethal Weapon, trying to cut wires. Yeah. Every time you've eaten a burrito, you're like, oh shit, my laundry facilities can't allow for this, for reckless behaviour. I feel you, sister. I really do. And I think you're going to be able to come out the other side of this. But that's all I can offer by way of. There you go. And laundry building as well. And clothing building.
Just a pile, But if everyone's... I'm all right for pants, socks and bras.
Get that on a megaphone and shout it out your window. Let everyone know. Twayna, are you? We've sorted our own stuff out there, but are you ready to help the wider public one trouble at a time?
I am, Johnny. I am.
Well, let's jump into our first trouble then, shall we? Here we go. Let me just check it's on the right one. This is it. There we go. Since I became an adult, I've experienced really odd behaviour from my uncle. I used to really like him when I was a child, but since becoming an adult, I find spending time around him unsettling. I'm 22 now and he's 57. He says things like, "You've developed so nicely," and the emphasis on the word developed is so wrong. Last time I saw him, he greeted me with a hug, but his hands drifted down to cup my bum. No one saw, and I wanted to slap him. That's the end of the trouble. Twayna, where are you going with this one?
She should have slapped him. Simple as that. Uncle or no uncle, it's a problem. This is really awful behaviour. I think the fact that he's an uncle makes it even worse. But nip this in the bud. Knock him in his fucking chin. None of this behaviour is allowed to stand in 2025/2026. It's over. Knock him out. And tell your parents he's a freak. He's a nut job. He needs to not be around you. Simple as that.
Yeah, I mean,
violence is the answer.
They're quite. I could roll into a bit of that as well. Yeah, you know, endorsing that. The reality is so many families talk about having a creepy uncle, don't they? It's always a fucking uncle who's just a bit like weird and like just absolute. Watches Game of Thrones and thinks I like that kind of familial structure. You know what I mean? Bit of incest, bit of nonsense. Probably up for some dragons. Who cares? But if you're coming out with words like or phrases like "you've developed so nicely," like this lady is a photograph. How fucking what a weird little creepy bastard. And with the emphasis on develop, you've developed so nicely. How could you? And then yeah, I'm fully on board for telling your parents about this because one of them is going to be directly related to this individual, and I don't know. I think it's a kind of more of a reflection on men and potentially an older generation of men, but really men in general. There's so many dodgy blokes who think that they can act in ways that are like, you know, it's just seen as banter when it's actually really harmful and dangerous. And, you know, we've got to call this shit out, to be fair. Some shitty present at Christmas over the first 21 years of your life does not mean that you can engage with some kind of, you know, sexual improprieties with family members and everyone's just going to go, oh, that's just Uncle Fred being Uncle Fred. No, mate. Should be doing some time if you carry on like that. Keep your fucking hands to yourself. How about that?
Definitely.
I think we sorted that one out, didn't we, Twayna?
Yeah, we did.
Right, let's fire into the next one here.
I'm ashamed of my daughter's messy garden. Should I say something? She's nearly 50 and lives in a pleasant cul-de-sac of privately owned houses. Her front garden is the only one that looks a mess. The grass is never cut because she says it's eco-friendly and has wild flowers. It's very small and is crammed with unintended bushes, fruit trees, and a central tree that takes all the light from her sitting room. I would be very disappointed if I had such an eyesore next door to me. She's a single mum with 2 sons who have recently left school, but she won't let them tidy up her garden. We live a few hours away, but always feel ashamed when we visit and push our way up the overgrown path. Does it matter, or are we just pernickety old folk with outdated views? What do you reckon, Johnny?
Well, just to, and I wouldn't like to be too pedantic, but just to clarify one thing that you said, it was untended bushes, not unintended bushes. Because that is a new level of crazy garden when there's just bushes that are just growing out of the like poison ivy's taken over and there's just unintended foliage. But yeah, no, I think the thrust of what you were getting at anyway was fully delivered. I have a little bit of sympathy, but not much, and that is because I hate this keeping up with the Joneses kind of nonsense, and it's. Like, you know, who gives a fuck what the pleasant cul-de-sac's like? And everyone else has nicely kept gardens. Yeah, and guess what? What I heard out of that was she's a single mum with 2 sons. Probably got a lot on. Got a lot on. Yeah? Rather than Doris and Clive at the end who, you know, sit on their own and got nothing else to do apart from do their gardening before Countdown comes on. Give her a break. But with that being said, if the kids are now out of school and they're saying, let me clean it up, it shouldn't be a matter of pride. You shouldn't be sitting there going, no. I've got many unintended bushes around here, which I am particularly proud of. And I do think that, you know, if she's literally wedded to a messy garden, then, you know, you might need to step in and have a word. But outside of that, maybe give the lady who's probably had more than enough on her plate lately a little bit of a break. Where are you going?
I mean, offer to help yourself. Do you know what I mean? You've written into us and you're complaining, but actually you seem to be, she's 50, which I'm saying that you're about 25 years. You're retired. Why don't this could be a project for you? Do you know what I mean? She's maybe, you know, she's 50. She's a single mum of two. She, like you said, she's probably a bit like, it's not her priority. You know, there's probably worse. I'm assuming the rest of her house is tidy. Everyone looks clean. Everyone's been sent off to work and school looking clean. Like, it's the last job that she wants. Offer to help. Come on, don't just go, oh, I'm ashamed of this. It's like, offer to help. Make it a project. Make it a bit fun. Do you know what I mean? Don't just, you know, don't just moan about it, but also don't be a bit. This also reads a little bit of being a bit of a snob. There's a little bit of snobbery in this, which I'm like, yeah, you don't want to. I'd be a bit annoyed if like a neighbour had a message, but I'm also like, in the grand scheme of things, it's not the worst thing. And also, I think you're just being a bit of a snob, actually.
I couldn't agree more. And it sounds like, let's say she cleaned her garden up, but then wants to get into doing a bit of acid on the weekends. Do you know what I mean? And getting some mates over. You'd probably complain about that as well. Like, get on with it. You know what I mean? Being a bit nosy. And look, at the end of the day, apart from the tree that is obstructing natural light, that is one where you should scale it back, because that can lead to all sorts of mood changes and dispositions. So I do think that you should get your natural light in. But outside of that, some people don't want to channel their inner Alan Titchmarsh every week. Do you know what I mean? Going raking up the weeds. Some people got better things to do. And you know, this is obviously someone who might not even understand that YouTube exists. In your 70s, and all you care about is how your front garden looks. They're out there probably entertaining themselves in different ways. So at the end of the day, if you've got, you know, you're a grandparent, she's raised her two children to the point where they're out of school. So one way or another, they're still alive.
Yeah.
And just get off her back. You know what I mean? She is ticking off boxes. And I don't know if you've realised, but raising two kids on your own, single mum, not easy. So maybe she could do a bit more support rather than snobbery coming from her parents.
Yeah.
That is what I would say.
Perfect.
I think we smashed that one as well. Twayna, we're on a roll. I love this at this point in the pod. 12 minutes in, and you can just feel two people out there just be like, wow, these guys are really in their stride. They're really in their stride. Yeah. I thought this problem was going to ruin my life, but no. Just should have gone to them ages ago. We're in full swing. Let's jump into the next one. Although I know my prisoner ex is bad news, I can't stop thinking about him. I'm obsessed and would do anything to get him back, even though he treated me badly and hurt me. I'm 40 and he's 48. I started writing to him in prison during the lockdowns when I was lonely after the breakup of my marriage. He was so funny and interesting that I quickly fell for him. Then I started visiting him and our time together was magical. I don't know exactly what he did, but it must have been bad because he's a lifer. He's already done 15 years in jail. I told him I would wait for him to be released so we could be together properly. I mean, lifer. There we go. I said he could move in with me, but our relationship grew toxic. He became very jealous and paranoid. Then I found out he was writing to other women, and we split. I was devastated. One night, I went out with some friends and ended up having a one-night stand with a man I met in a bar. I missed my ex and started writing again. He kept asking me if there was anyone else while we were apart. Eventually, I confessed. I thought he'd understand, but he dumped me and called me a whore. It's been 6 months, and I still cry myself to sleep. Why do I miss him so much? Where are you going with this, Twayna?
I'm sure for anybody who's just listening to this, I'm shaking my head. This is like, Jesus wept. What an absolute fucking mess. Listen, here's the thing, right? He's done something bad because he's in prison. That's kind of how prison works. I know there's a scale of bad in prison, but like you also mentioned that he's a lifer. And so you have to do some pretty horrific stuff to get a life sentence. Usually a murder. You've killed, somebody's died. You've killed somebody. I think this man that you're in have strong feelings for has killed another human being. He's already done 15 years. That tells you that he's still got probably a long time yet before he comes out, if ever, on license. I'm saying if he's got a life sentence, he's probably got at least another 10 years, I reckon, inside prison before he's allowed out on some very strong conditions. That's just the first bit of this. The second bit is this doesn't seem to be very secure ground on any of this. It seems to be a lot of, I don't know, it just seems, like you said, it seems to be quite toxic. He seems to be quite possessive, even though he's quite possessive from inside prison. He seems to be also, like you said, writing to other people, other women. You've also slept with somebody else, which you can do, like you can do that. But he seems to have been upset and now has dumped you from inside prison. Do you know what I mean? It's like, where do you see this going? Also, do not ever let this man live with you, please.
Well, for a start, he's going to be fucking turning up looking like Morgan Freeman at the Shawshank Redemption after his life sentence. You know what I mean? Just looking for his mate Andy Dufresne. So much here. And I thought you spoke brilliantly there, Twayna. Let's jump into a couple of points. Number one, you said it perfectly well. No one is doing a life stretch. Already 15 years in the tank for trivial shit. Doesn't happen. So I don't think you're prying if you say, what is it that you did? Because we know it's in a category 1 offence. You don't get life for speeding tickets. You don't.
Shoplifting, no.
No. Not even flashing people in the park. No. You know what I mean? Oh, he gets a bit racy on the weekends, a bit of dogging. No. No life sentences hounding out for that. We're lucky to live in a country where the judicial system does not operate in that way. But let's talk about the actual particulars of this relationship. You can't even be with this man because he is behind bars. And then he is getting jealous and paranoid about you. And you find out he was writing to other women, which, bearing in mind he's incarcerated, is as much cheating as he can do. He can't do any more cheating than write to other people and not tell you about it. So you found out he was cheating, pen palling around recklessly. That's the equivalent of, a guy on the outside barebacking someone behind your back. You know what I mean? Like that's that level of cheating. Inside, you cheat. This guy is writing to other people. And then when you go out and shag someone on a night out, which you've got every right to do, he's there calling you a whore. He's a whore. He's a whore with his pen and his paper, writing to anyone that wants to know, probably getting lipstick on those letters. How dare you? How dare you? This woman has gone out there trying to move on, but she can't. And the other aspect of it that jumped out at me, obviously she's out there missing him. But as you said, I mean, without a shadow of a doubt, you can't let this guy move in with you. I mean, I just think that this guy's got a completely upside down judgment on, what is sound. Even if you thought that a reasonable relationship partner was a person who was a life sentenced convict, the fact that he is so jealous and paranoid would mean that I would say people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. People in glass penitentiaries definitely shouldn't be throwing anything. So I think this is DOA, dead on arrival. Get rid of him, eh?
It's quite toxic. It's quite controlling. There's a lot there's red flags. It's a massive red flag all through every element of this. And obviously it feels all fresh and exciting and all the rest of it when you're writing into each other initially and like you meet initially, but actually when the more that you've got to know each other just a little as much as you can know somebody who is incarcerated, you actually are coming across bits of their personality which are not positive bits, not making you think, oh, I'm looking this is bad, I don't think this would be fun once it happened in real life, sort of outside of one of you being locked up for 24 hours a day and the other one of you just out there sort of just living freely. I just think it's bad news.
Bad vibes, 100%. And let's be clear about things. It's all well and good feeling like this is fun when you're with someone who's banged up and there's prison guards around. Imagine this guy got out and is around the same guy calling you a whore. He's shown that he might do things that could get him a life sentence. So God forbid you spoke to anyone. I mean, but it's weird. Just finally on that point, I'd love to get your thoughts on it. You do hear of a lot of women getting involved with like serious, violent male criminals and stuff, starting off as pen pals. Some even Ted Bundy used to have women throwing themselves at him when he's like killing multiple women, but they seem to be in for it.
But it's also like the one of the aspects of that I've sort of heard about is that those men were never going to come out, so that you can have. So it's just like this. So it just remained in this kind of liminal space of like, I'm in a relationship with this person, and it just stays in that one. It just stays in. It doesn't move forward anyway because this person can't ever come out for you for like the situation to change slightly or to shift. So it always just stays in this quite unique space. And so like it just feels kind of giddy all the time. And so like some of these people married some of these people as well. And it's just like, I'm married to this person, but it's like the 100% you would never marry this person in real life. It's because it doesn't really exist in real life. It exists in a kind of a bit of a fantasy realm. Do you know what I mean?
I could not agree more with that. And the reality is when you think about these people that get in relationships with, lifers, people doing long sentences in jail and starting relationships with them, and I completely agree. They almost like the fact that it's never going to become real life. And then you hear about this new influx of people getting involved in AI relationships.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you're just kind of talking to someone. They're not really real. Maybe they're going to have to develop an AI model where it's based on serial killers and they're going to answer in that way. It could be the most popular AI model. Yeah, just involved with my AI Ted Bundy takeoff. He's great. He's great with the keys. Yeah. Emojis constantly sending. It's nuts, but clearly it speaks to some people. But what we're saying overall, as a pod, I believe we're in unison. Get rid. Do not even entertain this. It sounds bad.
You'll get over this. Move on.
There we go. Get it done. Twayna.
I love my sister, but I can't stand her husband. He's an idiot. Love that. He thinks he's better than other people and talks down to them. I'm a man in my 50s and I used to visit my sister a lot, but now I would rather do something else. I try to hide it, but I think it's obvious I'm not a fan. They've been married for 8 years. What can I do? I want to see my sister while spending as little time as possible with her husband.
Yeah. I don't think this is a unique experience. A lot of people have things like this going on, with in-laws. But I mean, I do love the fact that even in this little paragraph, it changes, isn't it? It's like, I can't even get through 2 sentences without a barb at him. I love my sister, can't stand her husband, he's an idiot. And then later on, it's, I tried to hide it. I think it's obvious he's not a fan. Yeah, you're calling him an idiot, mate. You're throwing around insults at people. But I do think that this partly taps into something where it's like, as you get older, you've got less and less emotional equity for things that are causing you trouble and draining your energy. Like there's just nothing there. So when you see people, and I've got a mate who's in a similar situation to this, where he can't stand the in-law, but there's only so much bandwidth you have to entertain morons. And, your family can't get rid of them. Most of us anyway. No, I'm not suggesting that was not an underhanded way, suggesting more people should kill their siblings through grievances. I'm just saying that we're bound to them, the ones that we've not completely fallen out with. So you have to crack on with it. But don't let her marital choices ruin the relationship with your sister, because there's, you might want to be a little bit more obvious and say, look, I'm not the biggest fan, so let's just spend more, try and organise time away individually, just used to but maintain that relationship with your sister. Otherwise, you'll lose out. That's kind of where I'd go with this one. Would you reckon, Twayna?
I kind of agree. It's like you said, it's that thing of like, there's probably people annoying you at work, and you're like, I can blank them, I can blank that one, but actually, you've only got about 7 people left in your life, and you're like, right, I can't fall out with everybody, so you've got to be kind of diplomatic here. Your sister probably realizes it's been 8 years in. You've been married to this guy for 8 years. Your sister's been married to this guy for 8 years. Probably been with him for a bit longer. She's probably realised that you think he's an idiot. She's probably heard it through the grapevine, through another sibling that you think her partner's an idiot. So she kind of probably gets it. You're probably not hiding it. You're not hiding it very well. You think you're making it obvious. Everyone probably knows. You're a grown man now. You're in your 50s. Just say to your sister, me and you, let's go out. Let's go out for dinner. Do you know what I mean? You can just do stuff just the two of you. You don't have to have people tagging along anymore. It's all right.
Or you could try and organise, a transition to the next stage of life. Like, say, hey, do you want to go out? We'll go speed dating, and just try and get her hooked up with somewhere else. Do you know what I mean? Now, let's peel back again behind the curtain. You kind of revealed, you opened up and revealed a little something there. The reality is, Twayna, we know that some of your work colleagues listen to this podcast, and you gave them a little insight into how you roll there by saying, I don't like that person in work, I blank them. I don't like that person in work. So there will be someone listening to this going, yeah, now I know. Now I know.
Listen, they know already. They know it. They don't even have to listen to this. They're like, I knew it. I've known this all along.
No, fair enough. Twayna is letting you know how she rolls. But you ain't family, and this person is family, so don't give up on your sibling relationship. Let's move on. I think that's solved. Any other?
It is, I think that's solved. Go for it. Yeah.
Good stuff. Let's move on to the next trouble. My friend's daughter parades around the house wearing next to nothing whenever we are left alone. I'm a 48-year-old single man, and in the process of buying a new flat after getting divorced, but it won't be ready for a few weeks. My friend offered me his spare room free of charge. It is only meant to be for a few weeks, so I leapt at the chance. My friend has a 20-year-old daughter who lives with him. She is all nice and innocent when they are around, but the second we are alone, she walks about the house half naked in skimpy underwear, pajamas, or sometimes just a towel. We both work from home all day, whereas my friend and his wife go out to work. Last weekend, my friends went away for a mini break. I went upstairs to get something out of my room. She had deliberately left her bedroom door open. She was standing there naked, smiling at me. I grabbed my car keys and ran out of the house. There is no denying she's a beautiful girl, but I would never go there. Her parents are going on holiday soon, and I will be left with her. I will probably end up sleeping in my car for 2 weeks. While they are away, because I'm not sure I would be able to resist her. Twayna, what you got for this?
I'm shaking my head at this one as well. What is this? It's like, is this real? Is this a fantasy? Initially I was a bit like, when you started it, I was a bit like, oh, there's some inappropriate behavior. Be like, by the end of it sounds like you actually quite like this. Like, what do you want from this young woman, sir? What is it you intend in this situation? Would you like to do this, or would you not like to do this? Because it's quite hard to work out if you're like, actually, I'm 48, I'm getting divorced, I'm just trying to live somewhere, and but this young woman is just being a bit fruity, or you're like, she's being fruity and I would do it, but actually I'm just pals with her parents. I don't know, like, where are you going? What would you like to do? I'd say don't do it, whatever it is. Don't sleep in your car, and also don't do it. Okay, that's what I'm saying, Johnny.
There's so much. I love that. There's so much here. This man hasn't got a consistent story with the 6 paragraphs he's delivered us. First of all, let's start with this. There is no denying she's a beautiful girl, but I would never go there. Within one sentence further on, I'm not sure I would be able to resist her. You dirty 48-year-old man. You're probably getting divorced because you were shagging another mate's daughter, as it was. Now, let's just take this man at his word. Let's suggest there is a 20-year-old lady walking around. And to be honest, if she is doing these things, certainly leaving a door open when she's naked and smiling, I would suggest she's probably quite happy with the attention and maybe, you know, playing around with a little bit of that, you know, flirtatious energy and whatnot. But you have made some kind of commitment to your friend who has put you up when you are currently homeless. And the idea that you would resolve that situation by shagging his daughter while they're on a little city break it's not how you should conduct yourself if you are a man presenting yourself as you were at the start of this little monologue. I'm a 48-year-old single man in the process of buying my new flat. Yeah, won't be getting. Yeah, all right, you really got your shit together, and then it just descends. The further you go down, it's literally into the sewers with this man who, you know, really is living in a carry-on film by the end, isn't he? He's like, oh,
definitely.
So
I'm going to sleep in my car. You're not sleeping in the car for 2 weeks. So what are you going to do? You're going to say, like, either say, just say, listen, pal, listen, love, nothing's going to happen here. Let's just behave ourselves. We're pals. I'm friends with your parents, and I'm also maybe your friend as well. Let's just be appropriate adults in this situation. Yeah.
There's two things here that I would definitely raise quickly. Number one, if you had any romantic desires with your friend's daughter, why don't you wait till you've got your own flat?
Yeah.
And guess what you could say as a pickup line? Got my own flat now. I know you like walking around the flat naked. Why don't you come over mine and walk around naked? You'd have a lot more traction with her, and you'd probably be able to get, as long as you didn't do anything around your friend's house, you might even be able to get away with it. She's a grown woman. She can make her own mind up.
Yeah.
The other idea of it, though, is the only way you could have enough self-control to be able to is to sleep in your car for 2 weeks. And the idea that your mate, when he returns from his city break holiday with his wife, comes out to see you sleeping in your Vauxhall Astra outside the front of the house, steamed up windows. What are you doing in there, mate? I'm in here because I didn't want to shag your daughter, all right? Resting on the horn. It's too much. And I don't know how you need to do it, mate. It surely isn't, you know, the car or sleeping with his daughter. That can't be the choice. Maybe get yourself a Lenny Henry for a couple of weeks. Go in the Premier Inn and keep your dignity. Do you know what I mean? But don't sleep in the car and don't shag the guy's daughter. That's what I would say.
Perfect.
Oh, we're aligned there. I love that. Good stuff. Final trouble here, Twayna. You ready for this one?
I am. I love my sister. No.
Oh, have we done that one? Oh, we've done that one.
Everyone loves their sister. More technical issues. Good work, Johnny.
It's seamless. We have done that. Have I put the wrong one on? Yeah, I have put the wrong one on. I did. Let me just read it out, okay, Twayna? I'm going to just.
Is it my one or your one?
It is your one, but I've got it up. I don't know if you've got it up already. But if not, I can read it.
I can do it. Wait a sec. No one. Cool. Talk amongst yourselves.
I could do lift music.
Here we go. We ready? I am a man in my mid-30s who feels pretty lonely. I finished university and the good friends I made there have all drifted away, moved abroad, had kids, that sort of thing. My partner and I occasionally do things together, but in general, we prefer to do different things. She likes hosting. I like to go out. She loves nature walks. I'm a city person. I work from home and my company organises social activities, which I turn down because they happen in big groups. And my biggest obstacle is being an introvert with social anxiety. I even find small groups intimidating. I'm rarely a fun or interesting person in that setting. If putting myself outside my comfort zone meant some positive connections, I'd happily make allowances for the discomfort. But the older I get, the less rewarding it is to force myself through these situations. I don't know where to start.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. And let's be clear. Not alone there, mate. Not alone. One of the things that you're describing is getting older and realizing that you haven't got time for other people's shit. And there's so many work-based connections that you make with people who you would never speak to if you didn't work with them. You know, the kinds of people who would go in and out of your life, complete social osmosis if it wasn't for things like Facebook that meant that they could latch their hooks into you and say, hiya, how you getting on? And give you the occasional poke. The idea that you're not up for social interactions in work-based situations, I would say maybe loosen up a little bit. Everyone can play a bit of junkyard golf around Christmas. Don't limit yourself. And I would say that there might be one or two connections that are unforeseen, that you're stopping yourself being able to access because you just have kind of zipped it up in your head and just think that none of that is going to be worthwhile. So you are somewhat limiting yourself and therefore limiting certain happy and positive interactions that you might get. But outside of that, it also seems that you're half unhappy with your wife because you're growing apart with her. So just try to slow down that. You could call it maturation process and introversion, because you will have the rest of your life for being a lone little hermit. Every now and then, speak to people, get involved, and as I say, there might be some unforeseen benefits that you're not really factoring in at this stage. What do you reckon, Twayna?
Well, as somebody who might not come across is on this, but I can be quite shy, and I think I would class myself as an introvert, like I would, and I do get that social situations can be a bit awful. So you've kind of got to, unfortunately, have to put yourself out there a bit, I think is important. But also my thing is now, like if I have to go somewhere that I don't really want to go to, but actually I have to be there, is just basically just go for an hour. That's what I say, is just go for an hour. It's like literally you go in there and then you're out by this time. And so I've been known to turn up at a work Christmas do, and I'm out at 8. Sometimes I'll be gone by 9. If I'm having a nice time, I'll leave at 10. But after a while, it's just like, you just have to give yourself an out. You just have to go for a bit and then you have to leave. And then sometimes if you're having a nice time, then you stay just a little bit longer. But you have to, if you're saying that you're lonely, unfortunately, but you also don't like the social, you have to find like a tiny little sweet spot which kind of works for you. And so like an hour and a half is a good little sweet spot. And then you can go, look, at least I tried. I hated everybody, but at least I tried. And then you can just go home and just be lonely on your own. But if you don't want to be lonely, you have to interact with other people. And it can be hard.
And you will actually say that on the way out of that function as well.
Yeah,
listen,
I hate you.
Guys, I had enough. Obviously, no one's good here. I'm off. Would you say that?
I'll walk in there and go, look, I don't really like any of you here. I'll be here for an hour. Where's the snacks? And that'll be it. And then when it's just like, and then with crumbs down my face, I'll be like, I'm off. This has been awful, but I'm full up now. See you later. And then I'll leave.
And there's nothing wrong with that as a rule, you know what I mean? And if you are lonely, have you tried writing to a convict who's got a life sentence? A convict who's got a life sentence for serious violence, no doubt, because you don't get given them for fun.
Yeah.
And just start chatting. They are never going to hang around. And guess what? You don't have to write back if you're not getting on with them. You know what I mean? You can have 6-month breaks on that.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a callback to the previous trouble there. But I think that there's some kind of narrative thread there that can work for both people. And just hang in there. But I think overall we're saying, and Twayna, even from your own experience, you do have to make a bit of effort, don't you? It can't just be reverting to your natural urges. So that's it. 6 troubles down, only minor technical issues, but we made that look awfully cool, didn't we, Twayna?
Too slick, Johnny. We're just too slick at this.
Too slick indeed. But I feel, our altruism is operating at a very high level. We're healing people's lives one trouble at a time. If you have listened to this, it's your first one. We've already had 5 episodes. Go back and listen to these. Other calls to action. Do subscribe, do like, and do tell your friends about it. It's the only way podcasts like this grow. And also, if you do have a trouble that you want to share with us, hit us up on our socials. I'm at iJohnnyCochrane, and that's at Twayna Mayne. Apart from that, we'll be back with our next episode soon enough. And all that I'll say is a trouble shared is a trouble halved, or something like that. That's good. See you later. Bye.